Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today is Monday, January 6, 2019. Today I'm going to recap the NFL playoff games as well as college football bowl games as well as college basketball, NBA, and NHL from the weekend. Guess the lines for the division round and my best bet of the day. Okay, we're going to start the playoffs. 4 games over the weekend. Some interesting results. 3 underdogs went outright, and it really should have been 4 if not for coaching Miss Palace in that Buffalo-Houston game and some luck as well. The Texans come back from 16-0 down to defeat the Bills 22-19 in overtime. Texans move on to the division round to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Titans over the Patriots 20-13. This could be the end of the era for Brady and Belichick in New England. Titans move on to play the Baltimore Ravens. Vikings over the Saints 26-20 in overtime on a touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to Kyle Rudolph. Yes, I thought that was offensive pass interference, but we'll save that conversation for another day. And no, it didn't single-handedly cost the Saints the game. The Saints shot themselves in the foot, and the Vikings were the better team yesterday. Eagles lose at home to the Saints 17-9, and they lost Carson Wentz in the game due to the concussion. Seattle goes to play Green Bay, and the Vikings will move on to take on the San Francisco 49ers on Saturday afternoon. Now I'm going to do college football from the weekend. Just a couple games from the bowl season. Friday, Ohio over Nevada 30-21. Nevada covered. Ohio finishes 7-6. Nevada as well 7-6. Saturday, Tulane over Southern Miss 30-13. Tulane finishes at 7-6. Southern Miss finishes at 7-6. Tonight we have a game. You have Louisiana and Miami of Ohio 7:30 ESPN. Louisiana 10-3 on the season. The runners-up in the Sun Belt Conference. Miami of Ohio won the MAC this year as an underdog against Central Michigan in the MAC title game. Lafayette is giving 14. The over-under is 55. I think Louisiana Lafayette will win the game. But I like the over in this game. I just think this is a shootout. I think that Louisiana can score 45 by themselves, and all Miami would have to do is score more than 10 points, and I think they are certainly capable of doing that. So give me the over 55 in the Lending Tree Bowl tonight. Now I'm going to do college basketball. I'm going to try to be very quick here. I'm just going to do the scores, no records or anything like that. We'll start with Friday night, where there were actually a few games of significance. North Carolina A&T over Mid-Atlantic Christian 123-61 was not one of those. What was one of those was Wisconsin over number 5 Ohio State 61-57. Rice State over Oakland 96-69. Niagara over Fairfield 75-66. Siena over Monmouth 75-72. Ball State over Toledo 61-57. Houston over UCF 78-63. Drexel over Delaware 61-55. Manhattan over Canisius 71-67. St. Peter's over Iona 75-74. Quinnipiac over Marist 63-58. Detroit Mercy over Northern Kentucky 66-58. Green Bay over UIC 85-71. Milwaukee over IUPUI 78-74. Rutgers over Nebraska 79-62. Seton Hall over Georgetown 78-62. Kent State over Bowling Green 79-61. Tulsa over Temple 74-4. Cal Poly over Vanguard 85-82. Cal State Fullerton over St. Catherine 103-52. And UC Davis over Holy Names 101-41. Saturday, number 11 Butler over Creighton 71-57. Number 15 Maryland over Indiana 75-59. Number 22 Texas Tech over Oklahoma State 85-50. LSU over Tennessee 78-64. Wake over Pitt 69-65. Akron over Eastern Michigan 69-45. Clemson over NC State 81-70. Georgia upsets number 9 Memphis 65-62. UMass Lowell over UMBC 86-73 in overtime. Seattle over Chicago State 86-54. Fairleigh Dickinson over Bryant 77-73. Stanford over VMI 78-75. Colorado State over Wyoming 72-61. Western Carolina over the Citadel 86-82. Oklahoma over Kansas 66-61. Number 18 Florida State over number 7 Louisville 75-65. Marquette over number 10 Villanova 71-60. Number 17 Kentucky over Missouri 71-59. Number 19 Virginia over Virginia Tech 65-39. Number 21 Penn State over number 23 Iowa 89-86. South Florida over Yukon 75-60. Providence over DePaul 66-65. Hartford over New Hampshire 61-52. Coastal Carolina over Georgia State 74-72. Northern Illinois over Buffalo 73-72. Central Michigan over Miami of Ohio 93-82. Morgan State over Delaware State 81-68. Mount St. Mary's over LIU 82-73 in double overtime. North Texas over Marshall 67-64. Winthrop over Campbell 87-72. Harvard over UC Irvine 77-73. Texas State over Arkansas State 70-67. UL Monroe over South Alabama 67-49. Abilene Christian over Lamar 74-62. Cleveland State over Youngstown State 82-74. Little Rock over Texas Arlington 92-89. Morehead State over Tennessee Tech 83-72. Presbyterian over Gardner-Webb 68-62. South Carolina Upstate over Longwood 73-56. St. Fran, Pennsylvania over Central Connecticut State 93-69. Number 3 Kansas over number 16 West Virginia 60-53. Number 24 Wichita State over Ole Miss 74-54. Southern Utah over Montana State 59-53. Notre Dame over Syracuse 88-87. Western Michigan over Ohio 77-65. FAU over Utah 59-56. SC State over Coppin State 79-75. Maryland Eastern over Howard 78-66. Robert Morris over Merrimack 69-58. Charlotte over Middle Tennessee 68-62. NC Central over Florida A&M 61-45. Jacksonville State over Eastern Kentucky 80-71. Charleston over James Madison 85-69. Hofstra over Elon 102-75. Liberty over NJIT 65-38. Albany over Binghamton 74-62. Tulane over Cincinnati 76-71. Furman over East Tennessee State 65-56. App State over Georgia Southern 74-62. William & Mary over Northeastern 66-64. Southern Illinois over Illinois State 67-55. Central Arkansas over McNeese 79-69. Number 8 Auburn over Mississippi State 80-68. Southeast Louisiana over A&M Corpus Christi 84-80. Austin P over UT Martin 82-63. Stetson over Kennesaw State 57-54. Radford over High Point 73-62. Chattanooga over Mercer 70-61. North Florida over North Alabama 81-65. Number 4 Oregon over Utah 69-64. Western Kentucky over Rice 68-61. Louisiana Tech over Southern Miss 78-50. Arkansas Pine Bluff over Mississippi Valley State 80-76. Tennessee State over SIU Edwardsville 79-74. Santa Clara over San Diego 80-63. Eastern Washington over Portland State 71-69. Belmont over Eastern Illinois 87-55. South Dakota State over Western Illinois 91-56. Cal State Northridge over St. Catherine 109-75. Jackson State over Alabama State 70-67. Nevada over Boise 83-66. Drake over Indiana State 80-76. Florida over Alabama 104-98 in double overtime. Northern Arizona over Weber State 72-64. Georgia Tech upsets North Carolina 96-83. TCU over Iowa State 81-79 in overtime. Hampton over Charleston Southern 92-85. Prairie View over Alcorn State 84-70. Norfolk State over Bethune-Cookman 85-72. Nichols over Sam Houston State 70-58. Grambling over Alabama A&M 70-60. FIU over UTSA 90-83 in overtime. Princeton over Penn 78-64. Florida Gulf Coast over Lipscomb 68-61. Arkansas over A&M 69-59. Wofford over Greensboro 98-92 in overtime. Old Dominion over UAB 58-52. Wagner loses to Sacred Heart 81-74. Towson over UNC Wilmington 67-60. Washington State over UCLA 79-71 in overtime. Valpo over Evansville 81-79 in overtime. Fresno over San Jose State 79-64. Stephen F. Austin over New Orleans 87-68. Long Beach State over Cal State Los Angeles 76-60. Number 2 Duke over Miami 95-62. Number 6 Baylor over Texas 59-44. Northern Iowa over Bradley 69-64. Loyola Chicago over Missouri State 62-58. UC Riverside over San Diego Christian 89-51. Omaha over Oral Roberts 72-67. UMKC over Utah Valley 68-63. Missouri State over Southeast Missouri State 81-59. Louisiana over Troy 79-62. Texas Southern over Southern 77-68. BYU over Loyola Marymount 63-38. Northern Colorado over Montana 74-66. SMU over Vandy 92-81 in overtime. Number 25 Arizona over Arizona State 75-47. Number 1 Gonzaga over Pepperdine 75-70. Number 13 San Diego State over Utah State 77-68. UNLV over Air Force 71-59. Cal State Bakersfield over Grand Canyon 69-62. Pacific over St. Mary's 107-99 in quadruple overtime. Wow. Portland over San Francisco 76-65. New Mexico State over Cal Baptist 86-71. And Sacramento State over Idaho State 68-49. Sunday wasn't as busy. Richmond over Rhode Island 69-61. VCU over George Mason 72-59. Holy Cross over Navy 63-61. Number 20, Dayton over St. Joe's, 80-67. Wright State over Detroit Mercy, 70-69. Stony Brook over Maine, 73-52. Manhattan over Niagara, 67-62. Number 14, Michigan State over number 12, Michigan, 87-69. Duquesne over Davidson, 72-64. LaSalle over Fordham, 66-60. Rider over Siena, 85-77. Fairfield over Canisius, 46-42. Monmouth over Iona, 73-61. IUPUI over Green Bay, 93-78. Lehigh over Loyola, Maryland, 78-71. Bucknell over Lafayette, 78-66. Milwaukee over UIC, 64-62. St. Peter's over Marist, 66-40. North Dakota State over Northland, 97-43. Northern Kentucky over Oakland, 75-64. American over BU, 67-63. St. Bonaventure over George Washington, 71-66. St. Louis over UMass, 83-80 in overtime. South Dakota over Denver, 80-78. Xavier over St. John's, 75-67. Northwestern State over Houston Baptist, 106-79. North Dakota over Purdue Fort Wayne, 83-69. Oregon State over Colorado, 76-68. Minnesota over Northwestern, 77-68. Illinois over Purdue, 63-37. And Washington over USC, 72-40. Tonight's slate, 7 o'clock. UM Monroe, Coastal Carolina. CBS Sports Network, Colgate and Army. I like Colgate in that game. They're giving 7, and that's my play there. Louisiana and App State. Georgia Southern, Little Rock. Bethune-Cookman, Howard. Norfolk State, Coppin State at 7:30. Florida A&M, NCAA, South Carolina State, Morgan State. 8 o'clock, Troy, Texas State. South Alabama, UT Arlington. Georgia State, Arkansas State. Alcorn State, Texas Southern at 8:30. Alabama, Grambling. Alabama A&M and Jackson State. Number 17, West Virginia at Oklahoma State, 9 o'clock on ESPN2. West Virginia's a 1-point favorite. I have a funny feeling that the Cowboys are going to close as a 1-point favorite, 1.5-point favorite, and I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. West Virginia, won't be surprised at all if they win, but I think home field advantage prevails. And the reason why I'm picking the Cowboys over the Mountaineers here is that I think that the Cowboys will close as a favorite, and the line keeps going down, and that tells me that they know something that we don't, and I'm not falling for that trap again. So give me Oklahoma State getting a point at home against West Virginia. At 9 o'clock on ESPNU, Southern Prairie View. Prairie View's giving 9.5. That's a tough one. I'd lay it with Prairie View. I don't feel super about it because I don't think Prairie View is all that special. So give me Prairie View minus the 9.5 over Southern. Now we'll move on to the NBA. We'll just go over the results from the weekend. We'll start with Friday night. Magic over the Heat, 105-85. Blazers over the Wizards, 122-103. Celtics over the Hawks, 109-106. Rockets over the Sixers, 118-108. Lakers over the Pelicans, 123-113. Suns over the Knicks, 120-112. Saturday. Grizzlies over the Clippers, 140-114. That was a stunner. Raptors over the Nets, 121-102. Jazz over the Magic, 109-96. Thunder over the Cavs, 121-106. Hawks over the Pacers, 116-111. Celtics over the Bulls, 111-104. Wizards over the Nuggets, 128-114. Pistons over the Warriors, 111-104. Bucks over the Spurs, 127-118. Hornets over the Mavs, 123-120 in overtime. That's a bad loss for Dallas. Pelicans over the Kings, 117-115. Sunday, Clippers over the Knicks, 135-132. Heat over the Blazers, 122-111. Wolves over the Cavs, 118-103. Grizzlies over the Suns, 124-114. And Lakers over the Pistons, 106-99. Tonight's slate. 7 o'clock NBA TV, the Thunder at the Sixers, Pacers at the Hornets, Celtics at the Wizards, Nets at the Magic, 7:30 Nuggets at the Hawks, 8 o'clock Jazz at the Pelicans, 8:30 Bucks at the Spurs, Bulls at the Mavs, 10 o'clock NBA TV, the Warriors at the Sacramento Kings. Now we'll talk NHL. We'll go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's slate of games. Friday night, only 2 games. Capitals over the Hurricanes, 4-3, and Stars over the Red Wings, 4-1. Saturday, a lot of games. Oilers over the Bruins, 4-1. Sharks over the Blue Jackets, 3-2. Sabres over the Panthers, 3-2. Wild over the Jets, 3-2 in overtime. Golden Knights over the Blues, 5-4 in overtime. That was a big comeback for the Golden Knights. Maple Leafs over the Islanders, 3-0. Penguins over the Cabs, 3-2 in overtime. Lightning over the Sens, 5-3. Avs over the Devils, 5-2. Coyotes over the Flyers, 6-2. Predators over the Kings, 4-1. And the Canucks over the Rangers, 2-1. Sunday, Shortish kind of slate. Capitals over the Sharks 5-4 in overtime. Panthers over the Penguins 4-1. Lightning over the Hurricanes 3-1. Flames over the Wild 5-4 in the shootout. Red Wings lose again at the Blackhawks 4-2. And Ducks over the Preds 5-4 in a shootout. Tonight's slate, 7 o'clock NBCSN, Oilers Maple Leafs. So you have Connor McDavid against Austin Matthews. This should be a fun game. On the call of the game will probably be Kenny Albert and Pierre Maguire. No Knicks, no Rangers. So just pencil in Kenny Albert at play-by-play and then pick your poison for an analyst. Wouldn't rule out Joe Micheletti here, but I think it'll be Maguire. This is an interesting game. Maple Leafs are favored. I have a funny feeling that this could be an upset trap, so give me the Oilers to upset the Maple Leafs in Toronto. Jets at the Canadiens, Avs at the Islanders, and 10:30 on ESPN you have the Blue Jackets at the Kings. Now we'll do guess the lines for the wild card weekend. A lot of these lines, I think, are some of them in place and some of them are off. So without further ado, here we go. The Vikings are at the 49ers. My guess was 49ers by 9.5, and it's 7. It was actually at 6.5 yesterday, and now it's up to 7. Titans at the Ravens. My guess for this line was Baltimore by 8.5, and it's 9, so a half point off. Texans at the Chiefs. I said Chiefs by 6.5, and it's 9.5, so 3 points off. Seahawks at the Packers. I said the Packers by 7. It's only 4. Alrighty, so that's guess the lines for the playoff games. I was going to do what we know and what I question, but there's not enough time for that, so we'll just go right to the best bet of the day, brought to you by DraftKings. So I'm going to change best bet. I'm just going to give out 2 picks, or a couple picks in each sport, and one of them I gave away, sort of, which was in a hockey parlay I did, but that's not really a part of my best bets. So I have one in college basketball and one in the NBA. NBA best bet, I'm doing the Thunder getting 7.5 at the Sixers. I think they have a chance to win the game outright. I think they're live here. They're playing very well. Chris Paul's been awesome for them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's made the leap. I just think this is a competitive game, and I think Philly's getting too much credit here. And I think people are still judging them on that Christmas game against the Bucks, in which they blew them out with Giannis healthy. South Alabama getting 6 at UT Arlington's my college basketball play. South Alabama was the preseason favorite in the Sun Belt, and somehow they're getting 6 points. I think they're live here, and I think they will win the game outright as well. So give me South Alabama getting 6 on the road at UT Arlington. So that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow with recapping everything, and I'll do what we know and what I question with all the NBA teams. So I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.